up numerous subsidiary or front organizations that have infiltrated into every phase of the various nations' affairs. But at all times, the operations of these organizations were and masterminded and controlled by the internationalist bankers. They, in turn, are and controlled by the Rothschilds. One of the prime agents in this control is through the International Bar Association and its splinter groups such as the American Bar Association. It is important to note that there are bar associations in nearly every nation worldwide now pushing the United Nations. One branch of the Rothschild family had financed Napoleon. Another branch of the Rothschilds financed Britain, Germany, and the other nations in the Napoleonic Wars. Immediately after the Napoleonic Wars, the Illuminati assumed that all the nations were so destitute and so weary of wars that they'd be glad for any solution. So the Rothschild stooges set up what they called the Congress in Vienna, and at that meeting they tried to create the First League of Nations. They first attempted one world global government on the theory that all the crowned heads of European governments were so deeply in debt to them that they would be willingly or unwillingly serve as their stooges. But the Tsar of Russia caught the stench of the plot and completely torpedoed it. The enraged Nathan Rothschild, then the head of the dynasty, vowed that someday he or his descendants would destroy the Tsar and his entire family. And his descendants did accomplish that very threat in 1917. At this point, bear in mind that the Illuminati was not set up to operate on a short-range basis. Normally, a conspirator of any type enters into a conspiracy with the expectation of achieving his objective during his own lifetime. But that was not the case with the Illuminati. True, they hope to accomplish their objective during their lifetime, but paraphrasing the show must go on, the Illuminati operates on a very long-range basis. Whether it will take scores of years or even centuries, they have dedicated their descendants to keep the plot boiling until the hope of conspiracy is achieved. Now let's go back to the birth of the Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit-trained professor of canon law, teaching in Ingolstadt University when he defected from Christianity to embrace the Luciferian conspiracy. It was in 1770 that the professional moneylenders, the then recently organized House of Rothschild, retained him to revise and modernize the age protocols of Zionism, which from the outset were designed to give the synagogue of Satan, so named by Jesus Christ, and who are then, which they say are Jews and are not. Revelation Apocalypse 2.9, ultimate world domination, so they compose a Luciferian ideology upon what would remain of the human race. After the final social cataclysm by use of satanic despotism, Weishaupt completed his task May 1st, 1776. Now you know why May 1st is the great day with all communist nations to this very day. May 1st is also Law Day, as declared by the American Bar Association. The celebration of May 1st, Bob Beeline, goes from further back into history than this. And the day was picked for the ancient reasons which comes through paganism, Baal worship, and revolves around the worship of Satan. That was the day, May 1st, 1776, that Weishaupt completed his plan and officially organized the Illuminati to put the plan into execution. Bear with me one more second. The objective was to be reached by dividing the masses of people whom he, Weishaupt, termed Goyism, nationalism, or human cattle, into opposing camps in an ever-increasing number on political, social, economic, and other issues, the very conditions we have in our country today. The opposing sides were then to be armed and incidents provided which would cause them to fight and weaken themselves and gradually destroy national governments and religious institutions. Again, I say the very conditions in the world today, and they really are. And at this point, let me stress a prime feature of the Illuminati plans. when and if their blueprint for world control, the protocols of the elders of Zion, is discovered and exposed, they would wipe all the Jews off the face of the earth in order to divert suspicions from themselves. If you think this is far-fetched, bear in mind that they permitted Hitler, a liberal socialist himself, who was financed by corrupt Kennedy, the Warburgs, and the Rothschilds, to incinerate 600 million Jews. Now, just why did the conspirators choose the word Illuminati for their satanic organization? Weishaupt himself said that the word is derived from Lucifer and means holder of the light, using the lie that is his objective was to bring about a one-world government to enable those with mental ability to govern the world and prevent all wars in the future. In short, using the words peace on earth as his bait, exactly at the same bait as peace on earth was used by the 1945 conspirators to force the United Nations on us, Weishaupt financed, I repeat, by the Rothschilds, recruited some 2,000 paid followers. These included the most intelligent men in the field of arts and letters, education, the sciences, finance, and industry. He then established lodges of the Great Orient, Masonic lodges, to be their secret headquarters, and I again repeat that in all of this, he was acting under orders from the House of Rothschild. The main features of the Weishaupt plan of operation required his Illuminati to do the following things to help them accomplish their purpose. Use monetary and sex bribery to obtain control of men already in high places in various levels of our governments and other fields of endeavor. Once influential persons had fallen for the lies, deceits, and temptations of the Illuminati, they were to be held in bondage by application of political and other forms of blackmail, threats, and financial ruin, public exposure, and physical harm, even death to themselves and loved members of their families. Do you realize how many present top officials in our present government in Washington are controlled in just that way by the CFR? Do you realize how many homosexuals in our State Department, the Pentagon, all federal agencies, even in the White House, are controlled that way? Illuminati and the faculties of colleges and universities went to cultivate students possessing exceptional mental ability belonging to well-bred families with international learnings and recommend them for special training in internationalism. Such training was to be provided by granting scholarships to those selected by the Illuminatists. That gives you an idea what a Rhodes Scholarship means. It means indoctrination into accepting the idea that only a one-world government can put an end to recurring wars and strife. That's how the United Nations was sold to the American people. One of the most notable Rhodes Scholars we have in our country is Senator William J. Fulbright, sometimes referred to as Half-Bright. His entire voting record spells Illuminati. All such scholars were to be first persuaded and then convinced that men of special talent and brains have the right to rule those less gifted on the ground that the masses don't know what is best for them fiscally, mentally, and spiritually. In addition to the Rhodes and similar scholarships, today there are 3 special Illuminati schools located in Gordonstown in Scotland, Salem in Germany, and Anavrika in Greece. These 3 are known ones, but there are others that are kept undercover. Prince Philip, the husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth, was educated at Gordonstown and was also Prince Charles at the instigation of Lord Louis Mountbatten, his uncle, a Rothschild relative, who became Britain's Admiral of the Fleet after World War II ended. All influential people trapped into coming under the control of the Illuminati, plus the students who have been specially educated and trained, would have used as agents and placed behind the scenes of all governments as experts and specialists so they would advise the top executives to adopt policies which would in the long run serve the secret plans of the Illuminati, one world conspiracy, and bring the destruction of the governments and religions they were elected and appointed to serve.